Here at the bus stops, I mean, they are just buried here. So Metro Transit says that at these bus stops, most bus routes are seeing significant delays, and this is exactly why. And we've also seen several cars get stranded here on University Ave this morning. We actually tried to help one woman get out, but again, those cars that don't have all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive.
Red symbols all at the bottom of your screen there. That means those major roads are shut down. The Department of Transportation has put out a no travel advisory in 13 of the southern counties. Then further north and west, you see the roads, they're still pink, which means they are completely covered with snow. That includes, of course, as you see on the map there, the metro area. Well, drivers who were able to get to Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport yesterday we're in for a big letdown. That blizzard completely shut the airport down for nearly 9 hours, canceling hundreds of flights, stranding passengers. One runway did open late last night, finally. Man, our Ryan Ray's live there now with a check on the progress. Ryan, what can you tell us?
Brandy, and I have an update for you. One did open late last night, and then overnight we're told a second runway opened. So the two main large runways are now open, and the airport says they're resuming normal operations. You can see behind me passengers arriving here for some of the first flights of the day, hoping that they leave today. That is the good news, that they're starting to get back to normal here, but the damage is really already done for a lot of the people who tried to come out here yesterday. As you said, we've learned 469 flights were canceled yesterday before that one runway reopened. Passengers were left scrambling to find hotels or make other accommodations. Many even were stranded here.
Build some snowfall.
Some passengers telling us they can't fly out now until Monday evening.
We were on the airplane for about 3 hours, and then they said, nice try, and brought us back to the airport, which is now closed. I've never known Minnesotans to be quite so crabby.
For sure, and for good reason. We saw someone with a blanket there in a quiet part of the airport. Now here's the issue: when there's a ground stop like there was yesterday, planes can't get in here, and when planes can't get in here, they can't take passengers out. So it takes a little while for the system to even itself out. Possibly later on today you may see that happen, but for those who had a flight canceled yesterday, the flights are full, so some of them couldn't get on a flight now until Monday evening. The best advice, they tell us, check with the airline before you make the trip.
Not keep up with that snow. All 4 runways had to shut down around 2 p.m., and it took nearly 9 hours to get just that one runway, as Ryan was mentioning, reopened. Now we know there are 2 reopened. That's some bit of good news there. Well, several communities have now declared snow emergency. The roads, I mean, I know coming in overnight, Sharon, Kimberly coming in now, you got to be careful because not only are the snow's covering the road, but you got some black ice, down under there. I know I was slipping and sliding anyhow. We are looking now at this. We want to talk with meteorologist Jonathan Uhas next. Jonathan, I mean, my goodness gracious, this is one for the record books.
It is. Look at what happened here overnight with all that snowfall. We went from being in the top 10 snowfalls to the #1 position here. Now, this is the month of April. This is not just this one storm. We've already had a few snowfalls here, but we're at 22.5 inches of snow, and it's still snowing. So that is now the #1 spot for the most snow in April, and that pushed 1983 out, which was a pretty long-standing record. But you can see these records go all the way back into the 1880s. Now, average snowfall is 2.4 inches, and what's probably going to happen is today another 2 to 4 inches. There could be another 2 to 4 inches of snow on Wednesday, so we could actually hit 30 inches of snow for this month and just bury this old record here that used to be the #1 spot. Here in the Twin Cities, it's still snowing. Now, today's snow will be not anything like yesterday, but still, with 12 to 16 inches of snow on the ground, we don't need any more snow, so it's just going to make it more difficult here for digging out today. 23 is the current temperature. North wind is calming down, but still quite noticeable, still blowing snow around, but not to the intensity that it was last night. Across the Twin Cities, temperatures are mostly in the 20s. We'll only get back to about 30 today. It will get quite slushy this afternoon, but we won't have a good thaw here, as we're, again, only forecasting that high to be up around 30 degrees. This is the latest advisories and warnings. Just a winter weather advisory here for Minnesota, but then if you're trying to head up toward the Duluth area, today they get the heavier snow. There's a full-fledged blizzard warning on the Wisconsin side there in the Duluth metro area. So that is going to be a difficult area for travel, and also a blizzard warning around the Green Bay area. As far as extended or expected snowfall, 4 to 8 inches of additional snow across Wisconsin and 2 to 4 inches across Minnesota, but again up around the Duluth area, they could exceed a little bit more than 8 inches of snow. So travel not advised there in the Twin Ports and across northern sections of Wisconsin toward Green Bay, and still very difficult travel in these parts due to the fact that we just have so much snow now. And that also extends down into northern Iowa as well. Here's the storm system. Typically it would be warm enough and this would just be a rainy April day. That's what would be more typical, but with those cold temperatures in place, this is all snow. You can see how it's going from Wisconsin back into Minnesota, so it's moving from east to west. It'll be with us here throughout a good portion of the day, but then eventually as we get into tonight, we'll see that snow finally wind down to flurries. And again, an additional 2 to 4 inches of snow expected here today. Temperature around 30 degrees, northeast winds 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusting to 30. And then overnight lows tonight will drop off to 22 degrees. And then we are done with the snow. The temperature on Monday at 37, 40 on Tuesday, more snow Wednesday and Thursday, and then a little bit warmer with a chance for just April showers next Saturday. We'll be right back.
Sideways. We've hit a record in terms of the snowfall for the month of April.
Right, and it's keep going on and on and up.
Some of those drifts are just incredible. I mean, they're wild to look at.
I had a 4-foot drift in front of the garage door.
That's
last
convenient.
night. Yeah, it was. But it got plowed away. Hopefully you're getting dug out wherever you are this evening. Our totals here for the month of April, and we've had numerous days of snowfall. Now, this is 22.5 inches. That's from the National Weather Service.
Top 3 in 2000.
As we get that number, I promise to put that out there. But I think it's going to be around 24 inches right now if you take today's snowfall. But we're at the #1 position, so we're just up on top with that. But you can see, actually, in the last couple of years, well, not last couple of years, but let's say the last 18 years, we've been in some heavy snow territory in April before. Look at 2002. But the interesting thing about 2002 is it had 20.2 inches of snow. But if you go back to 2002 on this date, April 15th, the high temperature was 91 degrees. We haven't even seen temperatures in the 60s so far this spring, but we may have some coming a week from tomorrow. But the average high is already getting up to 60 degrees here now. 26 degrees the current temperature, still snowing in the Twin Cities. Winds are out of the northeast at 18 miles per hour. It is causing some blowing and drifting snow, but nothing like what we had last night. So last night obviously was very severe with this winter storm. Today it is much, much less, but it's still out there and it's still causing problems. Temperatures across the state are mostly below freezing, so it's slushy, but as soon as we get into that overnight hours here, we're really going to see things ice up again. Off to the west, a little bit of sunshine and temperatures that way in the 30s. Here's the latest advisories. We have a winter weather advisory until early tomorrow morning, winter storm warning, western Wisconsin, blizzard warning as you get up into northwestern Wisconsin around the Duluth area. That's where the worst conditions are occurring here this evening, and travel not advised from Duluth to Green Bay. But down here, it's improved over what we had yesterday, but it's still difficult. Lesser traveled roads, obviously, the most difficult here to navigate. So definitely take your time this evening. And there may be some minor delays tomorrow morning, but most of the big highways should be in pretty good shape. As far as snowfall, and again, we're waiting for the official reports here. Around the Twin Cities, it's been 12 to 17 inches. Down around Albert Lee, 6 to 10 inches. Lesser amounts at Rochester, 4 to 7 inches, with the highest snow amounts out here around Montevideo, back to the South Dakota border, 16 to 20 inches of snow. Here's the snow. It continues to rotate around the storm center over southern Michigan. If it were a few degrees warmer, this would just be a rainstorm, but very cold air here is entrained to this, and that's why we're just getting snow. Now, it will come to an end here probably in the early morning hours around 1 or 2 a.m. on Monday. You can see how as we get into the overnight hours, there it goes. It's not with us for the rush hour, and it's not with us tomorrow either, so things will be clearing out. So for the Twin Cities, that airport still has, get this, 4-hour delays here at MSP, so if you're expecting somebody tonight, they're going to be late. 22 the overnight low, any accumulating snow an inch or less. Tomorrow, much better day, 38 in the afternoon. And then how about this? On Tuesday, we're at 40. That looks like a good day. More snow possible Wednesday into Thursday. Could be some accumulations. And then beyond that, close to 60 next Sunday. We'll be right back.
This Friday, Montevideo, 20.5 inches. In Maple Plain, they saw 18 inches and a half. Plymouth, 15 and a half. 20 for Fridley. Chanhassen, just over 16 inches and almost 2 feet. In Canby, almost 20 inches. with this storm in West St. Paul as of Friday. So very impressive snowfall totals for us. And overall, it has been a very snowy April for us. Looking back, again, snow so far in the Twin Cities this season, 77.4 inches. Average is just above 53 inches. Third snowiest winter since 2000 when they saw 88.6 inches. So history for us. This system again exits overnight. The snow tapers off for us. Watching another system that will likely bring us snow Tuesday night into Wednesday. Nothing like what we've been seeing over the last few days. However, could see some accumulation with this system. So not quite over yet, unfortunately. And if you're hoping for a major warm-up, I don't have great news for you. We will see melting. We will see a warm-up. But it doesn't look like we'll be getting back to average with our daytime highs. And just ridiculously cold today, 30 degrees below average. We only made it up to 28 degrees. Right now, 23 outside. We still have that wind, not as gusty as it was earlier, certainly not as gusty as it was yesterday, but north sustained at 16, making it feel like 10. Most of us in the low to mid-20s in both the west and east.
Not clearly. 58 degrees for today. A month from today, the average high is almost 70. 2 months from today, the average high is 80. And for what it's worth, a year ago, the high on this date was 72. Today's high, 28. And right now we're at 23 degrees. We have a north wind at 16 miles per hour, even producing a wind chill here at 10 above. And we do have light snow still falling in the Twin Cities. It is going to be quite slippery in the morning hours here all across Minnesota and Wisconsin, where we had snow because of the colder temperatures. But then tomorrow afternoon, we'll see those temperatures rise above freezing and road conditions will be much, much improved. Look at this for airport delays. Almost 6 hours at MSP here right now. So the rest of the country looks great. But here you go, biggest delay is right here, and that's because of 15 to 19 inches of snow that has fallen here. Lesser amounts toward the Rochester area. They had some more rain than snow that way, but very heavy amounts off to our west, over 20 inches in some spots out near Montevideo. Lighter amounts to the north, but they certainly got their snow today. 9 to 12 inches in Duluth and 5 to 7 in the Brainerd Lakes area. The worst weather, or at least the heaviest snow right now, is up on the North Shore, where they've had blizzard conditions from Duluth and points east.